Beaver County Radio's news source. 95.7 and 99.3 FM. Along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. On this Friday, November 15th of 2024, it'll be cloudy skies today with a high near 52 degrees. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. On Thursday, the United States Senate vote between Democrat Bob Casey and Republican David McCormick has still not reached a legitimate outcome because the votes are going to be retallied. And now McCormick is using legal filing to prevent counties in Pennsylvania from counting ballots that either do not have a date or have the incorrect date. The campaign of McCormick does not believe that the outcome will be decided by these ballots that are from both Center and Bucks counties. As of Thursday afternoon, McCormick only has 26,000 votes more than Casey. According to Secretary of the Commonwealth Al Schmidt, since the upcoming votes are being retallied for a Pennsylvania election result for the United States Senator in Pennsylvania, this is one of only 8 times that this has occurred. Here is Schmidt announcing how this process will work next week for counting the votes again for the 2 candidates, McCormick and Casey. This audio is courtesy of Commonwealth Media Services.
As of Wednesday afternoon, just over 80,000 ballots remain to be counted. That number comprises approximately 20,000 mail-in and absentee ballots and approximately 60,000 provisional ballots. Once each county completes its canvass of all ballots, county officials will then immediately move on to recounting every ballot cast in the U.S. Senate race. Counties will use a different method or different equipment to tabulate votes than what they use to compile their unofficial results. This is done to ensure any potential tabulation issues can be identified. Counties must begin the recount process no later than Wednesday, November 20th. They must complete the recount by noon on November 26th and must report their results to the Department of State by noon on November 27th. Once we've received all recount results, the department will then publish those online on November 27th.
The teenage boy that was charged and arrested after bringing a gun to Ambridge Area Middle School has been detained. Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible reported to Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano on Thursday morning about the gun incident on Wednesday, and Bible said the gun was loaded and the metal detectors didn't go off when the 13-year-old boy brought it into the building. Bible also added that the gun was hidden and the teen found it and brought it to school. Bible also notes that the teen is now lodged in a detention center in Ohio. According to a release from Leanne Leschny from the House Democratic Communications Office, State Representative Rob Matzey and his resolution to help people become more aware of pancreatic cancer, also known as House Resolution 514, was accepted by the Pennsylvania House this week. Leschny states that Matzey and his plan will declare, quote, National Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month for November of 2024. Matzey cited information from the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network that displays in the United States in 2024, more than 50,000 people will be expected to die from this form of cancer, as well as over 64,000 expected cases. PennDOT District 11 has announced that the ramp that holds traffic from Route 51 Coriopolis Road to southbound I-79 in Robinson Township will close today, Friday, November 15th through Sunday, November 17th, weather permitting. Traffic will close from 7 p.m. tonight through 6 a.m. Sunday morning for concrete slab replacement work. The Neville Island Exit 65 ramp will also reopen to traffic tonight at 7 p.m. That carries traffic from northbound I-79 to Grand Avenue.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy today with a chance of a light rain off and on throughout the day. We are going to see some areas of fog through early afternoon as well. Look for a high near 52. Cloudy with a chance of showers tonight will drop down to a low around 43. Partly cloudy with a chance of rain to start the day tomorrow. Then we're gradually going to see some sunshine. We'll reach a high of 54 and an overnight low of 35. And partly sunny on Sunday. We'll see highs in the upper 50s and a low of 46. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at news for now. I am Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Teleforum is on the air on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. The show is presented by East Rochester and Tusca Shop and Saves. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
Minutes after 11. I look forward to this show, this little special feature we do once a month. But I look forward to this show more now than usual. Please, almost said please, welcome to the stage. We were talking about drummers. DJ FRYE comes in once a month. It's called Bus Talk. And he and I don't talk. I sit and stay out of the way and he talks. DJ, you brought a bus full of people today.
We have a special group today, Eddie.
How you doing, first off?
Good.
You know what? I pretend like I care and then you get to the point.
That's it. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, how's the cats?
The cats?
How's the cats?
They run the joint. The two of them together weigh 9 pounds. Did you adopt that cat that you said you weren't going to adopt?
I'm still winning the battle. Still winning it. The kids are still feeding it, and I haven't at least caught it in the house just yet.
All right, here's what's up. It's adopted you. It just ain't filled out the paperwork yet. You'll know when the cat drives you to get chipped.
Look, you'll be the first to hear about it, Eddie.
Like any human being, like any creature of God, if it's being fed, it's going to continue to show up.
Absolutely. Well, talking about showing up, I'm pleased to have in the studio today, and showing up is the Shout organization from the Beaver Area School District. And we often talk, Eddie, each month our guests just get better and better and better. And I tell you, this one's going to be hard to beat in the months to come here on Beaver County Bus Talk.
I looked up and I thought, I wonder if he actually drove one of his own buses, because the room is full of people. This is being live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube to let everybody know. But explain what Shout is and explain the bus full of people you brought. Well,
before we do that, I just want to say for our listeners and viewers, this is probably the most talented group we've had in the studio. But more importantly, this is a group of students in the Beaver Area School District that are really top notch, and they're really part of that 1% of the population and student body. So it's an honor to have these three here, and they're led by one of my favorite people, Miss Heather Bixler. And if you don't mind, Mrs. Bixler, I mean, you're kind of the co-sponsor of the Shout organization, and I think the best way for us to get into this is, can you tell us, our listeners, a little bit about the Shout organization?
Well, I'd love to, DJ. Thank you for having us. To everybody who listens, thanks for listening and tuning in. We love to talk about our students and what we do with them. Shout is co-sponsored by myself and my colleague and very close friend, Amy Fermani, who's in the classroom teaching today. And we became a group in February of 2021 is when we kind of put forth our request to initiate our chapter of Shout. Shout actually started with South Fayette. They were the first chapter, and we are actually the 11th chapter. So it is around Western Pennsylvania. I know Seneca Valley has a chapter. I think Hampton has a chapter. Right. So there are many other Shout groups in this area, but we're particularly proud of ours and how it got started with our students wanting to really grow a group that focused on amplifying student voices, adding to the diversity of our student body by trying to bring awareness to different social issues that our students might be facing, and giving them the opportunity to do something about it.
Sure. Now, how, so 6-7 years, is that what I know one of our guests here today, I think you were in 7th grade,
yes,
right?
I was in 7th
Your
grade.
first grade, or first year you were involved, right?
Yes.
So we're a senior now, right? Or senior?
I'm a
so
senior.
6-7 years, right? It's been around?
Yeah, well, when we talk about the Day of Giving, which I know we're getting excited about that, the Day of Giving has been around a little bit longer than the Shout group. So the Shout group is about 5 years old.
Gotcha.
Officially, know, when the school board approved it to become an official group of the school. But we really have expanded and grown it since then. Some of our initial student leaders from the past, Isabella DePietra Antonio was one of our students, and Jasmine Jansen's were the two students who started the group all those years ago. And now Quinn is our president currently, and we're just so happy to have her here along with Haley and Annika to talk about.
Awesome. So if you're just joining us, this is DJ FRYE. This is this month's episode of Beaver County Bus Talk. And today we have the Shout organization from the Beaver Area School District. And as Mrs. Bixler indicated, one of the things that I'm looking forward to bringing up throughout today's interview is the Day of Giving, which as far as FRYE transportation goes, it's one of those events that we just love to be part of. And I know that you guys just do such a wonderful job of on that day of giving and really inspiring a lot of people. And you guys win. That's the best way I can talk about this with the spout. You guys win, and you put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces. So with that being said, and thank you for the wonderful explanation of this sprout, the Shout organization, which by the way stands for the Social Handprints Overcoming Unjust Treatments. Is that correct?
Yes, Social Handprints Overcoming Unjust Treatment. It's basically, our motto is handprints heal footprints. When we kind of make errors in our daily lives, we leave footprints, whether it's carbon footprints or whatever. Sometimes they're intentional, sometimes they're not. But we believe as a group that by offering helping hands, that we can overcome and help ease some of the burdens left by those footprints.
Right, perfect. And we have with us the president, correct? And that is Quinn. And Quinn, and off the air for our listeners, she's indicated that she has a calling for radio, and she's looking forward to her college years coming up and being behind the mic pretty often, right?
Yes, I feel like I'm right at home right here, right? Thank you.
Right. So, Miss El Presidente, can you talk a little bit about the Shout organization?
Yeah, so I'll actually start about how I got involved in the first place. I think I was in 8th grade, and I was invited to join a Zoom call about this new Shout organization. I had no idea what it was, but I figured, hey, I'm at home in quarantine. I got nothing else to do. I'm going to hop on this call. So sure enough, I hopped on the call, and I was immediately inspired by the philosophy behind Shout. And especially because that was a time in the world where so many things were unsure. I didn't know when I was going to be in the classroom again. I didn't know when I was going to hug my grandparents again. I didn't know when I was going to take my mask off and actually see what my friends' faces looked like on the second half of their face. But the one thing I did know is that I wanted to align with this club to go against this unjust treatment that we see in our world every day. And so sure enough, I joined the club, and as the years went on, I became a co-marketing chair, so kind of more on the social media side of things. And here I am as you said, El Presidente today, which I'm so thankful for. But I just love Shout because some people think of it as a politically aligned club. It's not. I think it's more about kindness and connection, like Mrs. Bixler said, offsetting those harmful footprints, and that's why I'm super happy to be here today.
Very well said. I could tell you have a bright future behind the mic, so excellent. And Madam President, if you don't mind, could you introduce both of your friends here with you?
Of course. So to my right, I have the wonderful Haley O'Brien. She just joined us this year, and she's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes for our Day of Giving event. And then to my left is junior Annika Najavich. She's been in the group for, I think, 2 years now. Yeah, and she's also super helpful.
Great. Haley, can you talk a little bit about your experience first year and what you love about it so far?
Yes, of course. So this is my first year. My sister actually is the one who introduced me to Shout. She told me, Haley, you have to get involved in clubs because you're boring and you need to start doing more things. So I ended up texting Quinn because I knew that she was the president, and I was like, girl, I don't know when these meetings are. I need you to text me so I can show up. So sure enough, I showed up, and I loved everything about Shout. Right. I love that they put up awareness and advocate for people who aren't able to advocate for themselves, because that is what I'm all about. I think that everybody needs to have a voice, and people whose voices aren't really that loud should have somebody else speaking even louder for them. I love being in Shout. I think that it is really great to help our community, like we said, heal those footprints, because we really are in a world of uncertainty, and helping each other just build a stronger connection is really important.
Oh, so well said. And I have to add to our listeners, Haley's mother happens to be one of our principals and one of the better principals in Beaver County, and we certainly enjoy working with Mrs. O'Brien. So very well said. And Annika, you want to say what do you love most about being involved with the Sprout organization?
Yeah, so,
Shout.
well, I first got introduced to this organization in my 8th grade year, actually. I was involved in marching band, and my section leader ended up taking me to one of the meetings, and I really liked the group of people involved, and I was really inspired by the message that Shout supports. And then I ended up officially joining in my sophomore year last year. And so this is my 2nd year in the club, and much like Quinn and Haley have already said, it's really inspiring to be part of a group that is, just all about kindness and helping other people, because, there's a lot of people that maybe aren't getting the treatment that they deserve, at our school, in our community, in our world. So just knowing that I'm a part of a group that's helping to offset that it's really important.
Now, how many members currently this year is in the Shout?
Well, we have a lot more than we have in past years.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I'd say there's probably about 25, 30 members currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had such a good turnout this year, and I would have to contribute the growth to the students. Like they
Sure.
talk to each other, and I think that they see the work that we do, and they want to be a part of that work.
Right.
I don't know, from the student side, ladies, what do you think?
I mean, it took a lot of building. I think it was end of my sophomore year, we had our final meeting, and much of our membership was seniors. And so I remember the seniors kind of walked out of the classroom, and I looked at Mrs. Bixler, and she was like, "It's you and me, girl. Next year, like we gotta rebuild this." And shout out to Gary Lou. He kind of did a lot of the work before he left. But we came back, we hit the ground running. We had what we call the Shout Cookout. It's now an annual event.
Well, I want to invite next year with this cookout. We'll have to talk more about
You'll have
this.
to make it.
Yeah.
We got hot dogs, we got snacks. I think there was some homemade pasta salad that made it this year. But we have like an after-school event where any student in the school can come and just learn about Shout. It's not a commitment, but if they're interested in our message, they can go ahead and join. So I think with that event, that caused a lot of our membership to
Awesome.
go through the roof.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say also with this year, we kind of combined it with our No Place for Hate event. We usually do it at the end of the year, but we started the year with that, where everybody who wants to, all the teachers do it, and then a lot of the students add their handprints to our handprint window. The handprints, healing footprints. And so we have this gorgeous window that's covered with everybody's handprints, basically stating their commitment to be, part of this culture of kindness that we're trying to create, and it overlooks the Best Buddies Garden, and it's just really something special to see as you walk down the hallway every day.
Once a month, DJ FRYE comes in and does his own show, and it's far better than anything I do. That's today. DJ FRYE is here, FRYE Transportation. The organization we're talking about is Shout. Mrs. Bixler, the teacher. Hi, Mrs. Bixler. Annika and Quinn and Haley, all students from Beaver. I do want to ask you a question before we go to break. You said the group's growing. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Is the group growing because there were kids that didn't know about it and now they're finding out? Or is the group growing because the necessity of what some people see changing in our society? Is it a movement because of the world, or is it a movement because kids are just finding out about it?
I have to say there's a mix of both. I mean, honestly, our freshmen, they kind of come in. The high school, it's very different from the middle school, and then they catch one of this club, and that's so in that sense that you said, they kind of just find out about it. But for some of our older students, I think in a world of social media where we kind of get our news scrolling on our phone, who knows what's true or not, there's a lot of misinformation. It's kind of hard to gather all that information responsibly. I think people do get their own ideals, wouldn't you agree, Haley? And then they're more motivated to join so that they can work for something that's more specific to them, something that they're passionate about.
I would definitely agree with that. And I would also say that with the world that we have now, we are definitely needing to have people to advocate for others more. There's just so much hate in this world that we need, like Annika said, we need to offset.
Sure.
And I think people are being a bit more, their eyes are being opened a bit more to that. And we are able to reach a broader group of people so that they can have their own hand in helping everyone
Well, very
else.
well said. So we're going to go to our first break, and when we come back, those listeners, stay with us. Well, I want to talk about the Day of Giving, which is just a wonderful event taking place next week here in Beaver County. You're listening to Beaver County Bus Talk on WBVP Radio.
Mm-hmm.
With the holidays upon us, now's the time for eggnog memories. And there's none better than Marburger Dairy Eggnog. Marburger Dairy's award-winning eggnog is the freshest and the best tasting of all time, other than my grandpa's. If you have a hard time finding it at your store, well, you better ask why. Did you know Marburger Dairy delivers to, for the very best, freshest in dairy products, it's Marburger Dairy.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Here is a question that's very easy to answer. Would you rather be sold something or get professional help and advice that ultimately leads to a strategy that best suits your needs? Tom Young at First Consultants Inc. in Beaver has a unique approach that has won over the trust of even the most skeptical clients.
Everybody that's selling is looking for a profit. I focus on creating strategies that are in the client's best interest.
Ask yourself this: what have you got to lose? The answer might be a fortune. Get financial strategies instead of a pitch about a product. Visit firstconsultantsinc.com or be a part of Tom Young's live simulcast presentation on the third Tuesday of each month beginning at 9:10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio and Facebook Live. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is in no way affiliated with First Consultants Inc., nor is First Consultants Inc. a registered investment advisor.
Football season is here, and East Rochester and Tuska Shop and Save is your tailgate headquarters. With all the food and beverages you need to make your tailgates and game day parties the best in town. Fire up the grill with their top quality meats, delicious burgers, hot dogs, and chicken wings. Get your cheese and meat platters, dips, and all your game day snacks. Check out their wide variety of wines and the beer cave. Don't miss out on amazing weekly specials and save money at the pump with every dollar you spend. Stop by your Shop and Save at the Tuska Plaza or East Rochester today for everything you need this football season.
J. Young Refuse and Industry is proud to be an integral part of Beaver County for the past 35 years. Featuring a wide range of recycling services for contracted areas, they are sure to help you get the job done. The J. Young Refuse team of professional drivers consistently exceed safety and service throughout the day, while their customer service representatives take professionalism to the next level. J. Young Refuse and Industry salutes our veterans for the freedoms we enjoy.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents Oliver Jr. November 15th through the 24th. This 60-minute junior adaptation of the Dickens classic is a perfect outing for the whole family. Tickets start at just $18. Visit LincolnParkArts.org.
Beaver County Radio, your hometown radio station. You're listening live from the FRYE Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and FRYE Transportation, proud to call Beaver County home.
Have you ever found something interesting that makes you go, oh? Then tune in every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. on Beaver County Radio for the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury. Orlana relates her views about informing, inspiring, and entertaining headlines that makes the world go round in interviews with local influencers that make you go, oh. The episode will be on Beaver County Radio Facebook and YouTube pages, so make sure to join the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 right here on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP.
It's important to remember the sacrifice of those who have served our country, and it's important to be grateful for it. Everyone at Alvarez Hahn Funeral Services and Cremation in Ambridge are thankful for our veterans in the community. On Veterans Day, we honor the brave men and women from all walks of life who have stepped forward to defend our nation throughout our history. Alvarez Hahn Funeral Services and Cremation, 547 8th Street, Ambridge, where it's always our family honoring your family, are glad to be part of the Veterans Day Parade in Beaver.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them
Art
online.
Cornell here from the Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. Art, what's new at the cemetery?
We've just completed a new addition to the mausoleum with above-ground burial crypts, indoor and outdoor niches, and family areas. The Beaver Mausoleum advantages include no plot maintenance, the convenience of a heated and air-conditioned building for visitation, and an adjoining private chapel. It's a perfect final resting place for your loved ones.
Thanks, Art. Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum, serving all of Beaver County since 1865.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Good morning. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP. On this Friday, November 15th of 2024, it'll be cloudy skies today with a high near 52 degrees. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. On Thursday, the United States Senate vote between Democrat Bob Casey and Republican David McCormick has still not reached a legitimate outcome because the votes are going to be retallied. And now McCormick is using legal filing to prevent counties in Pennsylvania from counting ballots that either do not have a date or have the incorrect date. The campaign of McCormick does not believe that the outcome will be decided by these ballots that are from both Center and Bucks counties. As of Thursday afternoon, McCormick only has 26,000 votes more than Casey. According to Secretary of the Commonwealth Al Schmidt, since the upcoming votes are being retallied for a Pennsylvania election result for the United States Senator in Pennsylvania, this is one of only 8 times that this has occurred. Here is Schmidt announcing how this process will work next week for counting the votes again for the 2 candidates, McCormick and Casey. This audio is courtesy of Commonwealth Media Services.
As of Wednesday afternoon, just over 80,000 ballots remain to be counted. That number comprises approximately 20,000 mail-in and absentee ballots and approximately 60,000 provisional ballots. Once each county completes its canvass of all ballots, county officials will then immediately move on to recounting every ballot cast in the U.S. Senate race. Counties will use a different method or different equipment to tabulate votes than what they use to compile their unofficial results. This is done to ensure any potential tabulation issues can be identified. Counties must begin the recount process no later than Wednesday, November 20th. They must complete the recount by noon on November 26th and must report their results to the Department of State by noon on November 27th. Once we've received all recount results, the department will then publish those online on November 27th.
The teenage boy that was charged and arrested after bringing a gun to Ambridge Area Middle School has been detained. Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible reported to Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano on Thursday morning about the gun incident on Wednesday, and Bible said the gun was loaded and the metal detectors didn't go off when the 13-year-old boy brought it into the building. Bible also added that the gun was hidden and the teen found it and brought it to school. Bible also notes that the teen is now lodged in a detention center in Ohio. According to a release from Leanne Leschny from the House Democratic Communications Office, State Representative Rob Matzey and his resolution to help people become more aware of pancreatic cancer, also known as House Resolution 514, was accepted by the Pennsylvania House this week. Leschny states that Matzey and his plan will declare, quote, National Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month for November of 2024. Matzey cited information from the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network that displays in the United States in 2024, more than 50,000 people will be expected to die from this form of cancer, as well as over 64,000 expected cases. PennDOT District 11 has announced that the ramp that holds traffic from Route 51 Coriopolis Road to southbound I-79 in Robinson Township will close today, Friday, November 15th through Sunday, November 17th, weather permitting. Traffic will close from 7 p.m. tonight through 6 a.m. Sunday morning. for concrete slab replacement work. The Neville Island Exit 65 ramp will also reopen to traffic tonight at 7 p.m. That carries traffic from northbound I-79 to Grand Avenue.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Mostly cloudy today with a chance of a light rain off and on throughout the day. We are going to see some areas of fog through early afternoon as well. Look for a high near 52. Cloudy with a chance of showers tonight will drop down to a low around 43. Partly cloudy with a chance of rain to start the day tomorrow. Then we're gradually going to see some sunshine. We'll reach a high of 54 and an overnight low of 35. And partly sunny on Sunday. We'll see highs in the upper 50s and a low of 46. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at news for now. I am Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Teleforum is on the air on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. The show is presented by East Rochester and Tuska Shop and Saves. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
It is Teleforum. It's much better than Teleforum. First off, it's a Teleforum on a Friday. And it doesn't matter that it's 51 degrees and foggy. It's Friday. More importantly, it's the Friday of the month when DJ FRYE shows up and hosts Bus Talk, and you brought a bus load of students. Here's how this has made me feel. The teacher, Miss Bixler's here, Annika's here, and Quinn's here, and Haley's here, and they're all from Beaver. And I feel so much better about the future, and I look back and think, no, I was really as dumb as my teacher said I was. Just listening to these conversations. You know, that those teachers that said, maybe you should learn to do something with your hands. I'm flashing back to that. I have so much more hope for the future, knowing that a day of giving is involved with the Shout program, and that's what you've been talking to them about.
Absolutely. You know, if you're just joining us today, we are blessed to have the Shout organization, as Eddie said, from the Beaver Area School District, and by far the three most talented guests that we've had over the course of the last year in studio. So again, that first spot, ladies, you guys are outstanding. And, you know, kudos to you. Kudos to Mrs. Bixler. And, you know, I'll make sure I tell Dr. Aiken when I see him how talented of a group he has. And as you guys are smiling because Dr. Aiken is in the studio with us today. Anyways, if you're just joining us again, we want to talk about the Day of Giving. This day, which is November 27th, next Friday, correct? Is it next Friday?
On a Wednesday.
No, it's on a Wednesday.
I'm sorry,
it's
Wednesday.
The half day of school
yes,
before
Wednesday,
Thanksgiving.
November 27th is the Day of Giving. And the Shout organization participates, and you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, you go to multiple locations, and you give your time, service, just, you know, again, we talked about this group just wins. So you go there, and you just, with that winning attitude and helping hand, you there to make things better and to contribute and to help. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, it's correct, but also I just kind of want to point out that the Shout organization runs the Day of Giving, and it's all the students in the district who are actually going to participate in the actual day and the activities that we have planned.
That's awesome. Yeah, did you hear that, Eddie? They are the captain.
I just feel really bad about the life I've led.
No, you know what?
By comparison.
Let's look at it the glass half full.
Okay.
This is our future leaders, and I feel really good about that.
So I spilled my glass, but at least somebody's cleaning up after me. You know what? I'll take that.
Bright. The future's bright. So let's talk a little bit, Haley.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the Dutch Ridge Elementary. So,
oh my gosh,
we already talked about how your mother works there, Quinn's mother works there as well, right?
Yes.
So, Dutch Ridge Elementary is one of the locations that you will be you'll be participating at on Wednesdays. Tell us a little bit. What will you be doing up at Dutch Ridge Elementary?
Yes, of course. So this year for Dutch Ridge, we will be making blankets, which is so exciting because, as we were saying earlier, it's very cold and foggy, and that's outrageous because it needs to not be so cold. But we will be making blankets, and then we are decorating bags for Meals on Wheels. And I know that a couple years back we did dog toys. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to be doing as well this year, but just kind of shows that we reach out to every part of the community, not just our people, but our pets as well. And I know that my mom, the principal, Miss Bixler has been trying to reach out to her, and she doesn't really answer her email very well, which is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with her, but if something doesn't get fixed, then I'm going to have to send her to the Beaver Meadows nursing home with Annika, because that's where she's going this year.
Yeah, so this year I'm going to be helping at Beaver Meadows as my activity on Day of Giving, because as well as organize this event, we also participate. And so this year the music department, as they have for many years, are going to carol at Beaver Meadows.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'll be involved in that. And then another one of our events that we're going to go off campus for is going to be folding clothes, sorting clothes in the closet at Adoption Connection.
Oh, wonderful. Now, let me ask you, will you be doing any of the singing?
No, I'm in band, so I'll be playing my instrument. I do not
do
have
me one favor. If Mr.
voice.
Crow shows up at Beaver Meadows, he is not to do any singing.
Yeah, I'll make sure
no
that
singing
doesn't
whatsoever.
happen.
Okay.
I go to Beaver Meadows to pick up our lunches, actually. You think I'm kidding?
I'm not one bit surprised.
Jimmy,
Beautiful
the
place.
chef, makes it right. We get our lunch. Here's your lesson. Which one of you wanted to be in radio? Here's how it works, okay? If they offer you free food, you're going to go cover the event. All
Sounds
right?
good.
If when you're older, it's an open bar, they never leave the event, like a Super Bowl. Jimmy hooks us up.
Really?
The food is phenomenal. We get our lunch from Beaver Meadows every single day.
Wow. Well,
Giggles goes and gets it, or I go and get it.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is DJ FRYE for this month's Beaver County Bus Talk, and we have the Shout organization here in studio, and we're talking about how wonderful the Beaver Meadows facility is, right? And I do want to shout out to St. Barnabas. It is a beautiful facility. I couldn't be prouder to say that my grandmother lives there, and the service is top notch. It really is. So when I noticed that's one of the places that you'll be participating at, it put a huge smile on my face, because that place is just a wonderful place. And obviously, you know how near and dear Dutch Ridge Elementary. So let me ask you, does both your moms know you guys will be up there on Wednesday?
So I actually won't be up there on Wednesday. I will actually still be at the high school. So a couple years ago, maybe it was last year, we did murals in the bathroom. We did mental health and awareness affirmations. We wrote them on the stalls. We wrote them on the mirrors, anywhere with windows. We tried to just kind of bring an extra positivity and try to reduce the stigma around mental health. But I will, excuse me, not be going to Dutch Ridge this year, because I will be helping to run the mental health affirmations, which I am so excited about. We are absolutely just so happy that Dr. Aiken and Mr. Snowden have allowed us to do it again this year, and I
Two
hope
of the
that
best.
Yes,
Two of the best.
Well, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that Haley did a lot of legwork to get that to happen. I mean, she really put her heart and soul into that. She wrote up the proposal that she gave to Dr. Aiken and Mr. Snowden. She organized a list of positive messages so that those who volunteered to do that activity that day, if they needed something to pick from, they could pick from it. She put together the form that they had to fill out for approval.
Wow.
She did all the legwork for that. So
you
I'm
know,
really
it's
proud
wonderful.
of her.
So let's talk about that. So there is there's some legwork behind this. So there is an approval process that we go through. So you have to define or write out what the plan is.
So for the mental health, that specifically, we had to make sure that we were able to reach everyone and not say anything that might be taken as offensive or make mental health seem as a joke. So I made an application to submit whatever quote they wanted to put on there, and everyone has done such an amazing job. I have no worries at all.
That's phenomenal. And Annika, you mentioned the Adoption Connection. That's another one of the wonderful things in hidden gems here in Beaver County. I really appreciate you guys participating down there. That's just such a well-ran organization within itself. A few other things too. For Mount Church, I believe, the Center in Midland and Salvation Army. Is there any I'm missing?
Well, probably. We actually have about 35 different activities that the students have to choose from this year. And some of those are the clubs and sports are taking ownership of an activity. And that actually was, I have to give credit to Dr. Aiken. He came up with that idea to kind of to get the students more engaged, to allow them to work together as a group to do that. So there are, like I said, 35 different activities, but I know that we do have some people going to the Salvation Army. There's a handful of students going to the center to help fill snack bags. We have students who will be going to 4 Mile. The cross-country team actually is going to 4 Mile to help clear some trails. We have some students going to the Vanport bike trails. The Mountain Bike Club will go there to clear the bike trails in Vanport.
Is there any school bus cleaning? I didn't see that.
Listen,
was there anything
you know what?
on the list? Can we get that on there one of these years?
That has to be on the list next year because I'm actually kind of glad you made that little joke, DJ, because I do have to say a lot of this couldn't be possible without the sponsorship and the donation of the transportation that FRYE Transportation has given. Like, we couldn't go off-site if we didn't have the transportation to get there. So we really appreciate that.
Well, we take pride in all of our passengers. And trust me, I'd say this all the time, wherever you need to go, we're going to get you to go. But this is certainly one of the events that we certainly, our drivers, from the time we pick you up to the time we drop you back off, there's a smile on all of our faces because this event is certainly a beautiful thing. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about the Day of Giving through the Shout organization. Mrs. Bixler, for our listeners, how can we get people to participate, donate? Is there a website?
So we do have information on the Beaver Area School District website under District News. There's also several posts on our social media page, Beaver Area School District social media page. If you want to follow our Shout Instagram account, we're posting things there. What is the account name, Quinn?
I think it's just at BASD Shout.
Or at BASD _ Shout?
Yes, you're right. Don't forget the underscore. Makes a difference.
But we do have, I want to mention the many people who have already contributed. Please. First of all, our whole administrative team from Dr. Aiken, Dr. Hiles has been such a huge help to me. Mr. Snowden, Mr. Kakich, all the elementary principals, like so many help there, so many people helping there. Lindsay Huff and Aramark donate cookies that day for the people who stay on site to have a snack. We have received in the past grant money from the Beaver County Educational Trust and the Beaver Area Education Foundation. We actually got a Donors Choose this year, and a big part of that was Google.org's Teen Mental Health Initiative gave $500 to that this year. We've had individual community sponsors over the years, Bags and Blessings, Yama, China House, 4 Mile Child Care, Hometown Happenings, Cord and Iron, the Hostess Shop, and Mrs. Schoenberger's business. I can't remember the name of it. I feel really bad, Mrs. Schoenberger. I'm so sorry. But Amira's Secrets, yeah. And then I'm sure there's people I'm missing, but it's all of this. It's a huge undertaking.
Sure.
And it's all of these things, all of these people and groups that help make it happen. And so we thank everybody, but we are looking for purses. We fill purses with hygiene items and we donate them to the Women's Center.
And I believe the school district, Beaver Area School District's website or Facebook social media page, check that out if our listeners and viewers want to participate in that.
Right. And we do have an Amazon wish list of items. There is also a post on the website and on social media that has both a QR code and a tiny URL link to the website if you would like to donate some items that we can use on that day. There's a lot of money, and of course our little group of 25 people can't pay for it all. Would love to, but
awesome.
It's a lot of donations needed, and we've received so many, and we're so very thankful for everything we've gotten.
Haley, last thoughts. We're going to go around the table. Last thoughts. Any shout outs? Anybody want to say hello to? Anybody want to thank?
I really want to thank my sister for pushing me towards joining more clubs, because none of this, I would have never been able to do any of this without her.
Sure. Madam President.
You want to say sorry, Mom Principal, before you get back within suspendable range?
Nope, no sorry to her.
All right.
No sorries.
All right.
Me personally, I would like to thank, honestly, just the youth of Beaver Area School District. I mean, I was in this club, and I'm still in this, and I'm hopefully leaving it in the best hands. Shout out to you, Annika. So that the kids who I hopefully will be with on Day of Giving, the first graders, when they get to high school, they also will have the opportunity to join Shout. And who knows what the Day of Giving will look like. And gosh, I'll be in college. That's so weird, like in the 2030s. But shout out to the first graders, because I actually met with the first grade teachers this year as we talked about plans for the Day of Giving. So yeah, here for the youth.
Well, Quinn, before we send it over to Annika, next year, make sure you call in when we have the Shout organization on WBVP radio, okay? Make sure you call in and say hello. Annika.
I definitely just want to thank Mrs. Bixler and Ms. Vermani. Like, they're our co-sponsors, and they just put in so much time and so much love into our organization. They really care about our student body, and yeah, it's obviously, we focus on being student-led, but yeah, there's just so much that they do, and it wouldn't be possible with either of them.
Excellent. Well, on behalf of FRYE Transportation and Beaver County Radio, I just want to say all three of you are super impressive. And thank you for your dedication to the school district, but more importantly, thank you for your leadership and love for this program. Not only the Shout organization, but the Day of Giving. And your leadership it's awesome. And Eddie, as I told you, the glass half full. I'm very excited for the future leadership led by these three.
I don't think it's half full. I think it's much more than half full.
Very good.
And I think back to when I was your age, like 1,000 years ago.
Oh, not 1,000.
I'd like to say I cared as much as they do about their contemporaries. I didn't. So this caring, talking about mental health, when I was a kid, you knew dudes had issues, but you didn't talk about it.
Sure,
the bravery of willing to talk about all issues at that age, and the gathering and trying to help. This is not something, I remember seeing it with my daughter, Allie, her age, she's 27. This gives me hope for the future. People first exhibiting a willingness to expend energy to help somebody other than themselves.
Absolutely.
It's less rare than I thought when I got here this morning.
Absolutely.
So God
well
bless
said.
you.
So, ladies, again, thank you so much for being on this month's Beaver County Bus Talk. I want to thank the Beaver Area School Board for all their support behind this program and this Day of Giving. And, obviously, Dr. Aiken, Dr. House, all of the administration, Mr. Snowden, and again, we got to give Mrs. O'Brien a shout out, right? And Mrs. O'Leary, right?
Also, Miss Fermani again,
yes.
My co-sponsor. Literally, I couldn't do it without her. We're in this together, and I'm sorry she couldn't be here today, but I just want to make sure everybody knows she puts in just as much time as the rest of us, if not more so. Thanks to her.
Perfect.
And thanks to you, DJ.
Oh, you guys are welcome. And to our listeners, not only do we appreciate you tuning in again this month, but, find some motivation through these three to make a difference and get more involved. And if you want to read up or learn a little bit more about the Shout organization, more importantly, the Day of Giving, please, look onto the Beaver Area School District social media website for more information. And again, ladies, congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful interview today. But more importantly, thank you for all that you do for our community. Thank you
so much for having us today.
Absolutely. This has been DJ FRYE with this month's Beaver County Bus Talk. We'll see you next month.